I can't explain it in English, so you must cut it.
Hello everybody and welcome to Portugal and the seaside resort of Portimao. The Sinetese people first inhabited this area in the prehistoric epoch. In 550 BC it was known as Portus Hannibalis. Sadly, not much of that history remains. The great earthquake of 1755 and the tsunami that followed destroyed most of the buildings here in Portimao, as it did pretty much everywhere on the Algarve coast. Shipbuilding and fishing was the economy of this area, although in more recent times it's become a tourist hotspot. We're not here for tourism, we're here for a battle in the Hankook 24H of Portimao.
We're here at the Autodromo Portimao and we're here for the Hankook 24 Hours of Portimao. Once more, we have a good grid size of GT and touring cars in many classes here present, as we will also have for our upcoming races in Barcelona, Spa-Francorchamps and last but not least our event in the USA at the Circuit of the Americas in November.
There's great interest in some new cars at this event. Montai Racing have brought the new Porsche GT3. It's not even on sale yet.
No, actually this is the brand new Porsche 911 GT3R coming out in 2019 to customers. So this will be the first race of the car.
You might think that a company like Porsche would just hire a track to test at their leisure.
That's what we are used to do, but nothing replaced the race conditions with traffic, with debris, with speed stops and whatever. We have seen already some cars working without problems in testing, in private testing, but then coming to the race you get issues. So yeah, there is nothing better than race conditions, and that's why we are here.
The Audi R8 LMS has been updated for 2019 and they've chosen this race in Portugal to make sure the car has race pace.
It's hot, the track is not so easy, it's difficult, you have up and down, and it's the best opportunity to test some new parts, also for a lifetime of the parts. You get some much mileage, and yeah, it's a great series.
Given that this is such an important test for the car, technical issues won't stop the car from racing.
We wanna finish the race the best way with all three cars. But if something will broke on the car, we will repair it anyway because we need the mileage on the new parts. Yeah.
But not all three entries from Car Collection Motorsport will be finishing the race.
One car unfortunately needed to retire before the race. It's number 33 Car Collection Audi. They had a broken chassis.
But how did it happen?
Before turn 13, I go full throttle in the left corner, and I have in the end of the left corner snap-on oversteering, and then goes up to the grass and to the yellow banana curbs.
Those yellow curbs damaged the chassis of the car, which couldn't be fixed at the track. That means we'll have to wait till the 24 Hours of Barcelona to see the 33 Audi on track again. The race is on Saturday, qualifying on Friday, and it went well for the number 47 of Fox Motorsport.
Surprisingly, it was quite okay. I just lost a little bit of time to one of the GT3s on my best lap. Maybe could have gone a few tenths quicker, and a small mistake on my first run with track limits cost me a bit of time. But other than that, it was fairly plain sailing, and all the drivers in the 24-hour series are very courteous to others, so not too bad at all.
Always best to set your qualifying lap with the least amount of competitors ahead of you.
Yeah, sure, we are looking all the time for a clean lap. But anyway, you can hit some traffic all the time, and this happened to me on the first set. That's the reason why you put the second set tires on. And yeah, how we said, P1 in class, this was our goal. We did it, and I think it's a good, how I said, point for the race.
And those that raced last year can compare any changes that have been made to the car.
We have the aero kit, the new aero kit, and we did 2/10 faster than the pole last year, and this is more or less our target, but Mercedes is faster.
Pole position for SPS Automotive Performance and the number 24 Mercedes.
Yeah, it's my second race for the 24 hours, and I'm so happy for the result for the qualification, and it's very big race, and yeah, I'm so happy.
Formation laps are underway. What can we expect?
It's really a test race. So we want to have as much as mileage as we can, and yeah, if it's we don't know how the new parts are working, but it looks like they are working the whole race. But yeah, it's a test. It's not for position or for something like that, or to win the race. We want to have mileage as much as we can. We want to drive the whole race, not to have much repair breaks, but yeah.
And there are more that don't yet have a podium position in mind.
Yeah, the race is quite long, and we want to survive. We are 4 drivers. The other 2 drivers are quite in the same time, and I think we can do a quite nice result when we come to the finish. And yeah, the night is long, to survive the night like all the time in the 24 hours race, and then we will see what we can do.
Yeah, just only drive with my co-driver, and yeah, I hope so for the finish line.
We're looking forward to a good race once more here in Portimao.
The Mercedes of SPS Automotive Performance leads the field out of the final corner. 2 formation laps completed, and the 24 hours of Portimao is about to get underway. Red light's still on, but the number 11 Bohemia Energy Ferrari already thinking about how to take that first position as soon as we get into racing. The lights are off, and from 5th position, here comes the yellow number 27 GP Extreme Renault trying to make up positions before the first corner.
No, it was just close racing, but very clean racing of everybody. Obviously, everybody knows that it's the start of a 24-hour race, and we all try to make up a position if possible, but without taking big risk, without touching each other, because it makes no sense in a long-distance race.
Hoffer, number 1 Mercedes, and the Ferrari of Bohemia Energy, 2nd and 3rd overall, just about a car's length between them. Right behind them, the 27 Renault of GP Extreme and the number 15 Mercedes from Swiss Racing. But still up front, the number 24 Mercedes from SPS.
Yeah, I'm so happy because I start at the first position, and for my first run, it's so nice. I just shit my relance for the Code 60, but I'm so happy for my stint.
The GT cars will have a few clear laps to fight between themselves. It's a packed field, and it's going to get very busy as they catch the back of the pack.
3 or 4 laps we had a clear track, then we started to overtake the GT cars and the TCE cars, so very busy, a lot of overtaking. This is also a track where you lose a lot of time, you can lose a lot of time in traffic if you get a car in a difficult position, but okay, we are still fighting.
Of course, there's technology nowadays to alleviate the high temperatures in the car, but some of the teams have decided not to use that equipment as it saps power from the engine. Of course, that doesn't make the driving any easier.
Yeah, it was quite hard because to follow Mercedes I must drive the car without air condition because there are 3/10 per lap, and was for us was essential to have this extra power. So it was really hard.
Antonin Borger in the number 24 Mercedes AMG is in a stint-long battle with the identical car of Christian Frankenhout in the Hoffer Racing number 1.
Yeah, but it's so nice battle because it's a very clean battle all the time. But this race, it's so nice. Frankenhout, it's so fast, but it's the same with very clean and so nice guys.
Jiří Pisarik is now in the driver's seat of the number 11 Ferrari, but is struggling just a little.
The track is very slippery now because the tarmac is over 50 degrees, so the stint was quite difficult. I didn't push too much over the limits because we have 20 hours before us more, so just safely.
Driving with a helmet on, tight seat belts, all limits your viewing angle, and that can cause incidents.
I don't know, I crossed the guys and at the brake, it touched me, but the car is so clean, but it's okay.
Christoph Lenz has just got into the number 15 car and has the same problems as his teammates that were in before him.
Mauro did the start, he was not bad, but he struggled with the car, oversteer like crazy. Then Roberto took the car, the same, the setup is not very good, so we are not able to fight for the win, for the podium, we are not able to do that.
Kenneth Heyer in the Mercedes has been battling Jiri Picherick in the Ferrari for second place overall.
Was very close to him for I think 20-25 minutes, and then yeah, sometimes the advantage of the guys doing a lot of Nordschleife is in the traffic, so I get a good situation in the traffic so I can overtake him and be on second, but I was not very fast instead of him, so he can close the gap again, and so then was only the opposite way. I was pushing in the front and he was in the back, so yeah, it was enjoyable, it was fun, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have so much fun here.
Number 111 is recovering after it was hit on the track.
Yeah, I got hit by the leading car, so tried to overtake me at turn 2, which is a little silly because it's not an overtaking position at turn 2, it's only one line through there. So just hit me right in the rear, spun me round. Luckily it was only bodywork damage, but lost us a lot of time and put us right to the back in 991 class.
The new Porsche 911 GT3R number 912 also needs a short stop in the pits, and that gives the advantage to their opposition in the SPX class.
We had luck because the Manta racing car, they had problems, so they had to go in the pit and they got a penalty. So we could go from P2 to P1 and have about 1 lap advantage.
The track was, as we would expect at that time of day, very hot, very greasy. It was really about trying to just manage the rear tire wear on the Mercedes. And we had a good stint, drove along to a fuel number. We're just trying to get good fuel consumption and keep the tires on the car. Still very early in the race.
3 hours have passed since the start. There are 21 more hours to go. This is endurance.
Endurance is everything has to come together, so you have to be fast because, you know, it's endurance racing, but nowadays the cars are so reliable that it's like a 24-hour sprint race actually, because you are pushing all the time. All the pit stops need to go well, all the drivers, because you are 4 or 5 drivers, so we all have to do a good job, so it's really proper teamwork.
This is the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve, also known as the Circuit of Portimao, one of the most impressive circuits in Portugal.
The racetrack in Portimao is, you could call, one of the most underrated circuits in the world. It is one that has a lot of elevation changes, a lot of high-speed turns. We're using the fast configuration this weekend, and it is simply a beautiful circuit to race on.
Yeah, I think for the driver, it's a very nice track. I'm actually the first time here in Portimao. I enjoy a lot. Yeah, it's a little bit windy, but I think the conditions are the same for everyone.
I think the way to describe Portimao is like a roller coaster. Once you get into section 2, the middle part of the circuit is just amazing. There's no respite for the driver. It's up and down. The circuit's blind. It's a real challenge, even in the GT4 car. And you know, when we hopefully move to GT3, it'll be even more of a challenge. It's fantastic. I think it's one of the most underrated circuits in Europe. You know, it's up there with Spa and Monza and Silverstone as one of the best circuits around.
The 4th hour of the Hankook 24 Hours of Portimao is underway, and it started with the number 15 Mercedes in the pit lane.
In my stint, nothing happened specially. I was driving normally and bam, the damper broke, I don't know. So in corner number 4, damper broke, so it's over. We have to give up like this.
Swiss team is the first that closed their garage door. Meanwhile, a few pits further down, Scuderia Praha team needs an unplanned pit stop.
Something made a hole in the tire because, as we saw it, it was really completely destroyed, the tire. I think we had really luck because as I got the information, Josef 5 times spun. So in the quick corner in the last one, so there is a wall.
So the number 11 Bohemia Energy Ferrari goes from a full lap in the lead down to 3rd position. With the track being so hot, any kind of debris can destroy your tyres. In the A6 AM category, there's a fight for second position in class, although perhaps fight is too strong of a word.
Yes, it's a battle is with friends. So we are not in a war here, so we're doing sports together, and so it's a battle, it's fun with friends.
Joining the battle, the 85 car, and Adam needs to speak to his race engineer just to confirm he is in the scrap for second position.
So at the start of the race, or near the start of the race, you know you're sort of battling with everyone anyway. It's only as the race starts to thin out and gets towards the end that, of course, people are on different laps, different strategies, and that's when you start to ask questions just to get a bit of an understanding where you are. And so, again, you still have to keep pushing, you have to remain focused and maintain the tyres, fuel, brakes and yourself, because in these conditions it's really tough out there. We're cooking inside the car.
The number 24 was at the head of this A6 AM battle, but the lead is lost as the car oversteers.
I was a little too objective. I was too quick on the throttle, and I did a small spin that cost me 10 seconds. And then later on, about 5 or 6 laps later, at turn 12, as I was overtaking a slower car, he didn't slow enough and he pushed me outside, and there got stuck for about a minute until the engine would start again, and that's where we lost another minute.
Car Collection have their newly updated Audi number 32 in second position overall, much to the enjoyment of the team owner, who is also racing the car.
The stint was very good. I have the car was really good to drive. I have no problems. I have my lap times. It's okay also, and we can hold the position. Yes, I'm happy with the stint. Yes.
The shadows lengthen as the sun heads for the horizon. Razvan Ubarescu can see the sunset far better with the car turned around.
Yeah, I think I was pushing a bit too much at the end of my stint, so the tires were dropping in grip or grip-wise, and I got a little bit too hasty in one corner. I was trail braking too much, and yeah, it happened.
Unsurprisingly, in this heat, a few teams have had some problems, but not everyone's been caught out.
We're very lucky to have had the experience of coming here last year, and it was very warm last year as well. There's a lot of degradation over the stint, just based on the nature and the abrasiveness of the track, and we saw the same behavior this year that we did last year, so we were planning for that, and so far it's going the same way.
The sun is about to disappear, and after 6 hours of racing, it's a good point to see how the race stands. The number 11 Ferrari from Bohemia Energy Racing with Scuderia Praha has regained its lead. Second place, the Audi R8 LMS number 32 of Car Collection Motorsport. And in third position, but only 7 seconds ahead of fourth, is the number 27 Renault. Manthey Racing is doing a fine job leading in SPX. They have a full lap advantage over the number 10 Leipert Motorsport Lamborghini in second, and third in class, the number 78 Speedlover in GT4. The QSR Racing School number 254 has a 2-lap advantage. Perfection Racing 239 is second in class, and third is the Fox Motorsport number 47 Audi. The Hankook 24H series is based on fair and equal competition. That's only possible if you have fair and impartial race officials. Race direction are there to ensure everyone adheres to the rules. It's a sizable team, all controlled from a central office.
This is the race director's office, where the race director sits as the team lead of all the clerks of the courses for the Creventic races. We have a couple of people more. We have 2 people in race control who deal with the infringement on the track. We have a timekeeping besides us who dealing with timekeeping, controlling stint times, driver times, penalties for driving times, etc. And then we have a couple of clerks of the course who's dealing with really giving the penalties to the teams.
Marshals, timekeepers and race control pass on information about infringements, but the assessment of penalties is always in the hands of the race directors, and they need to have a relationship with everyone in the pit lane.
It's depending on the severeness of the penalty. If it's really something to do with contact on the track, etc., we call the team managers in and discuss this up front, and then we take a decision what type of penalty they get it.
Not every penalty is accepted immediately by the teams.
There's a reasonable number of amount coming up, asking why this penalty is given, the backgrounds of it, and most of the time they accept it. Sometimes they have a better story than our marshals, then we go into contact again with the marshals, and sometimes we cancel the penalties. But most of the time, for 70 to 80%, we stick to the penalties.
Most penalties result in the car spending times in the penalty box. That has to be taken within 2 hours of it being assessed. That gives the teams enough time to protest or fit the penalty within their race strategy. Darkness has descended around the Rio Arad here in southern Portugal. Lights are on all the cars. Apart from the darkness, nothing really changing in the race. In every 24-hour race, every battle just as important in the night as it is during the day, although teams may decide to have their drivers with the most experience of racing in the dark in the car in the night hours. Red hot brakes, always a great sight at night time. The spectators able to see when the brakes are on and how heavily they've been applied. It's sensible to break a 24-hour race down into several parts. Part 1, settle into your position in the race. Part 2, keep the car running in that position. Part 3, fight towards the finish flag.
In the night, we hope we get no problems, yes, and we can drive without problems, with damage or technical problems. So tonight and tomorrow morning, we must see what is possible.
The 24-hour International Endurance Series by Creventic is an open championship. That means teams and drivers can enter the whole championship or just one race. Pavel Lefterov is a driver who has taken this opportunity to come to the series for the first time.
My first 24-hour race, and I think this year was going to be the last one. I hope that I get another opportunity because I love 24-hour races. It's a lot of emotions. It's really hard, so I really love it. I really hope that I get a kind of chance.
The Leipert Motorsport Lamborghini is performing well.
Basically, we had no technical problems, so far everything is running quite well for us. We did only once the brake pads changing, so I hope that we finish the race without any technical issues.
Lots of activity in the pit lane, lots of activity on track. Mechanics may try to rest a little bit in the pits, whilst the drivers try to get some sleep in the evening, the night or in the morning. Robert Lucas did get some sleep, and he woke up to find that the lead of the Porsche Racing 189 Porsche had doubled.
Yeah, actually we are leading the class with 4 laps, I think, and yeah, we try to hold the position, and this is our job now. Portimao is not an easy track for the car, and yeah, we are trying to holding the lead, and we have other cars in the class, and they're quite quick, and yeah, we try to keep the 4 laps in the front, and let's see what can happen.
A code 60 is called for a major problem in the fuel station. There's a leak from the supply trucks. The firemen there immediately to avoid any serious danger, but of course the cars can't come in for fuel.
We have a leakage, and so we have to do a red flag to stop the race. We have to take all the precautions for a safe way to handle the fuel that's spilled.
There were already cars waiting in the pit lane to go to the fuel stop. Others on track, running low.
We don't have fuel at all. We have maybe fuel for 1 lap, and we cannot go to the petrol station. What happened, I don't know. And good that we have a red flag, because we need the fuel for the car. And yeah, I cannot say anymore.
A red flag means the cars that were being worked on in the pit lane now have to be left alone. So what happens now?
I don't see pictures, I only get information that the fuel station was blocked for 3 to 4 rounds, and then they called me in because they said it's red flag, so I'm out of the car now and I don't know really what happens.
I don't know what's going to happen. Apparently there is a big fuel leak, so the whole refueling area is under petrol, so I don't know, the drivers got out of the car, so perhaps we can play cards still tomorrow morning at 9, so no, I don't know what's going to happen.
This is endurance.
Endurance racing is a team sport, and we are 5 people. And endurance is for me the best, because you get a lot of driving hours. and to have the time to get once with the car.
From the onboard camera, we see something that looks a little like a seatbelt coming from the dashboard. It's not a seatbelt, it's something else entirely.
No, it's not a belt. It's the net for the safety. We have on the right and on the left side, so it's for safety reason.
A driver who can tell us a little more is Charles Esplanade.
The FIA terms it a racing net. So the first from the standard window net that you see, the square net. So a racing net is designed for a different purpose. Obviously, it enhances the ability of the full restraint seat, the head restraint seat, and it keeps you. So what they found is in a 45-degree impact and some different types of impact, you can actually stretch the belts come out of the seat, and you can catch the back side of the seat with your head or whatever, and it becomes a dangerous point. In the States, they've been using this type of net for years, and then I think 2013 the FIA started mandating it in the higher series of cars in Europe, and now you're seeing it starting to bleed down into the smaller series. So,
as president of Safecraft, he's worked on improving safety and usability as the regulations have changed.
It used to only be required on the right-hand side, and you can see there's a different mechanism for the right-hand side. As the technology evolved and the understanding of how accidents happen and certain types of wrecks, the Grand Am series in America started requiring it. They wanted to require it on the left side. So obviously with the driver change in endurance races, you got to be able to get in and out of the car very quickly. So we developed this quick push button release. It's very easy for just about any driver to be able to get it in and out as quick as they can. And so that's kind of our deal. It's a very simple push button release. There's also a pull tab. Very simple. It's a hard mounted system. You can do it with one hand, and so it helps with the driver change.
And there are more things added to the car to help with easy driver changes.
We have the pedal box moving, and we adjust the pedal box, not the seat, once we go in the car, because Josef is taller than us, and we have to move the pedal box forward or to the back.
What really catches the eye in the cockpit are all the switches and buttons on or near the steering wheel. Christoph Lenz explains a few of them.
We can talk to our engineer, to our team. The drinking button, we have a bottle with water, so you can drink something. Here you can switch the page on the dashboard. You can switch back on this side. The neutral button, if you spin or something like this, you have to do the zero, the neutral gear. The chronometer, you don't need it normally, just for testing. The start and stop button, the speed limiter, the pit limiter for the box and the code 60, and the most thing you need, the flasher on for the head beam. Here you have the ABS and the traction control. You can turn it and it helps you more or less. This one is ignition, the main switch for the energy, the reverse gear, and the fuel pumps. The fire, if the car burns, you have to push here. I hope I don't need it. And this one is the button to select the driver who is in the car. That's it, more or less.
Almost 3:30 in the morning. The gates are open for the mechanics to start up the cars again. 15 minutes later, the drivers have taken their positions behind the wheel and the race can restart.
All the stars are standing in the same line. They were lined up during the code 60, and we do a restart with code 60. That's the easiest way. The race continues, so a red flag in an endurance race doesn't mean you completely stop and go back some places. You continue the race as where you stopped.
To make it fair for everyone, the race directors have decided to start with a long code 60 so that all cars have ample time to refuel. 4 hours of a delay, long enough for the drivers to take some rest, but they've not all managed to do that.
We didn't know it was 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So I tried to sleep a little bit, but it's not possible because you are stressed. And then around 3 hours 30, we couldn't go on the track for the restart.
The Portimao track is not lit, but appears not to be as dark as other circuits the series races on.
I don't know what it is though, but you're right. Places like Dubai are a lot darker, but it's it's a short night, I guess, and I think you get a lot of light from the Marshall posts, come to think of it now, but never really thought about it, but it's easy to drive here at night.
With 4 hours fewer in the race, gentlemen drivers now have less time to do their required minimum. That means the teams have to change their tactics.
This morning during the restart, we put Joe in the car, so he went out and did a double stint, because within our category we need to make sure that the bronze and silver drivers, they complete 50% of the race, and so we put them in whilst it was nice and cool. It makes it a little bit easier for the body without the sun sort of beating down on the track and on the cars. So Joe went and completed a double stint, and then I jumped in for a stint.
In the pits, the Renault number 27.
Towards the end of my stint, just couldn't get downshifts. Came in, and the team could immediately see that it was a broken gearbox, which seems to be the main problem of this car. So it's not the first time that it's happened. It hit us in Dubai as well. So
dawn begins to show over the Algarve landscape. The inky black of the sky overnight now showing patches of blue. Meantime, in the right of the picture, the 254 of QSR is in the gravel trap.
It's a steering fault. I didn't sleep, and it was 6 hours in the morning. I make a little mistake. I was not concentrated, and I drove in the grind, and there we lost 6 rounds.
This is the golden hour, the time that drivers love to be in the car.
I saw the sun come up, which is always the best stint. Put in some good times, clawed it back, so I got the car back to 3rd place. We're now in 2nd. It's going really well.
At this time of day, the conditions are ideal. The 85 Pro Sport Mercedes sets the fastest lap of the race so far, something its driver didn't even know.
I knew the lap was feeling pretty good, but I didn't quite realise it was the lap record. So feeling pretty good about that.
It's not all plain sailing. If you have better conditions, so do your competitors. So you have to work even harder.
As you drive from the night to the day, you think you can push, it will be easier, but it's not. So you are tired, and you need to really take care about the car, because I think this is the time where the most pilots make the mistake.
The Ginetta of Perfection Racing Europe are entered in the Championship of the Continents. They didn't have a great start to that championship in Dubai, but have an opportunity here to make up some points.
The 2 cars that are in the GT4 class this weekend wasn't in Dubai, so we have to be sure that we will get some points. But of course, if we are not finalize the race and the other cars will get a lot of points, they will also come to Kota, and it will be close race. Yeah, we have a big accident in Dubai, so we got only 8 points. So we was in the pit in 5 hours. So.
Currently, they have 3rd position in class, 4 laps behind the class leader, so still a lot to race for. Let's have a look at the other positions. After 16 hours of racing, Bohemia Energy Racing with Scuderia Praha still holds the overall lead in the number 11 Ferrari. 32 of Car Collection is 2nd, and the number 1 Mercedes of Hoffa Racing is 3rd. All are running in the A6 Pro class. In SPX, the Montai Racing number 912 Porsche leads by an impressive 5 laps. Lippert Motorsport with their number 10 Lamborghini really need to step up the pace in the next 8 hours. 3rd in class, Speed Lover Porsche number 78. The 991 class is for Porsche Cup cars. The number 189 of Porsche Racing, currently the leader in class. 2nd, EB Motors number 73. And 3rd, Track Club with the 111. In the 24-hour endurance series, the cars have their starting number illuminated during the night. But there's another number on the side, an LED light that shows the current overall position, not just for GT series, but also for the TCE series. The LED lights are red for the GT competitors and green in TCE. This is a great benefit to those watching the racing, and it's thanks to SPAA05 that this information is available.
It's of course a challenge to work with so many different teams from so many different countries, so many different cars, and engineers who have to install the electronics. But in fact, it's all the teams have a lot of experience here. The major challenge is always that we use a wireless system, a radio transmitter, And with all the telemetry and radios in the paddock, it's always a challenge that try to communicate with the car in a proper way on time.
The display doesn't just show the position of the car as it crosses the start-finish line, it updates during the lap.
We update 3 times per second to every car, so we real-time update the position of the car. The update we get from timing and scoring, because that's the official ranking we get from timing and scoring, is done on start-finish line. And depending on the racetrack, we can also do it on the intermediate lines.
More and more series worldwide are implementing this system. Race organisers realise the added value of the information it provides.
It's not just illuminating a little LED, it is really trying to make a system that can very quickly show spectators what's going on. Of course, the TV commentators and everybody in the paddock also uses that information. And our experience is most of the time a reason for other series to take us on board, because we're on track, we know what we're doing, and we can develop new things for them really in a few days.
The Autodromo Internacional do Algarve in the morning, the Algarve hills surrounding the track, the surface cool, although the sun might still be in your eyes, but a professional knows how to deal with that.
Well, driving with one hand and one over the eyes, but no, you get a pretty good feel of where things are. You have to adjust your speed a little bit in some of those turns just to make sure you don't do anything silly. But other than that, the car loves that cool morning air. The downforce loves that cool, dense air. So it's a lot of fun to drive. We call it one of the happy hours. We have happy hour at sunup and happy hour at sundown, when the car really likes the conditions.
EB Motors number 73 was second in the 991 Porsche class. Their hopes for taking the class win fading rapidly. Alfred Renard getting ready to take the wheel of the SPX class leader, but he's looking towards the overall standings.
Hopefully we can gain some places, and actually we are on P6, but it looks good. The speed is good for this at this moment. Hopefully we can go on 5th position or 4th position.
As long as you keep an eye on what others are doing, it seems that Portimao is quite agreeable for the teams and drivers.
Oh, of course, how can you not enjoy it? I mean, we're having a beautiful day here in southern Portugal. The weather's great. I mean, it could be 30 degrees centigrade out, and it's not. It's very pleasant. So, yeah, we're having a good time. We're having a good race. That always makes it a little more enjoyable when you're leading. So,
the Bohemia Energy team tried to prevent any unnecessary loss of time by using a code 60 to do their brake change. Team Track Club used the same code 60 to get David Abramczyk in the car and Lionel Amarouche out. He's pleased with where they stand.
Not so bad. We are the free position. We are happy. That's good. The car is very good. The ID car is very good.
The new Montai Porsche is definitely going very quickly in its maiden race. But the Lippert Motorsport Lamborghini's not too far off. Their tactics for the remaining hours partly based on the thermometer.
Gabriele is going for double stint, so he will go for 2 hours, and then when its temperature is getting hot, we have no cooling in the Lambo, so we have to go not more than 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is the maximum what we can do. Also, we are quite restricted by the BOP because we can refuel only 90 liters, and the fuel consumption is quite high, so we try to manage it.
Only 2 cars have officially retired, but to Gustav Edelhoff, it feels like more.
The driving is very easy because there's not so much traffic like yesterday. I don't know why. It's such the same cars on the track, but it's easy going and easy moving. Everybody is driving very fair. It was a big fun.
There's a loose Hankook tyre on the track. Jose Close keeps on driving.
What happened with the car is that the wheel nut came out, and then the wheel came out of the car. So the car have to be brought back to our stand. But Jose wanted to know if the car was able to run in 3 wheels. So that's why the reason he managed to came up to our stand with the 3 wheels.
The mechanics aren't admitting an error during the tyre change. They're blaming it on the driver.
Don't know. Jose is a kind of Superman, and he went with his arm
outside the car and unloose the nut. He's a kind of Superman.
Hopefully, their technical skills are as creative as their storytelling. Meanwhile, Stefan Adler has been in an accident.
I was on right, and he can't do nothing on the right on this turn. It will be necessary to go on left, and that's why he was just behind me. He forget brake, and he pushed me.
As Stefan tries to continue his race, we'll take a small break. This is endurance.
We started a little slow. We were back a little bit. Through the night we came forward, and I think that's kind of what you have to do in endurance, is just keep running your pace and sort of ignore the drama and the excitement going on around you.
There are many classes in the Creventic organised endurance series, whether it's in GT, touring cars or prototypes, and that makes it attractive to a wide range of drivers. You'll also find drivers who become team owners in order to race.
This series is fantastic. You can always buy drives, but there's a group of friends, there's about 8 of us to get together, and we just want to choose to race with each other. So buying the car and we own the team just makes it a lot more fun.
As a team owner, it allows you to select the people you want to work with, even your team manager.
Steve Doherty manages the team, a guy that I've worked with for about 10 years in different race series. So we just own the car, and then he charges us and gets everything done for us.
That allows the team owner to concentrate just on the racing.
I get my engineers, I get Wiedberg Motorsports, which support us. I only say what I want, and they have to do it. It's when we come to the racetrack, I have a speech to everybody, and then I give it over to the team manager.
As a driver, you may not have the choice of your teammate, but that's not the case when you are the team partner.
It's much better because you can choose the drivers. So I made a team from 3 people, Josef, Matteo and me, which are actually very competitive, and it works very well. So we are quick, and I can choose the driver, so I can decide it whenever we go and in which team, so it's better.
Not every team owner sets up a team to drive themselves. Most are there as a business and to accept customers. And if the team owner does take the wheel, it's often out of necessity.
Normally I want to have customers for my car, and when I have one seat free available, I take it, yes. But normally I want have full customers.
When you have set up a team and as it grows larger, you need to make the choice. Do you want to drive or do you want to run the team?
But both is nice for me, yes. Team owner, it's a nice job. Driving is also fine. This is my experience. I love it, yes. But the team, it's bigger and bigger, and so it's I don't drive so much. I arrange everything. I have many to work on the weekend with 3 cars, yes. And so I don't drive so much races.
It's 20 hours since the start of the Hankook 24H Portimao 2018, and it's bad news for the car collection number 32 Audi. It was second overall. It's now stationary at the side of the track.
We were working to catching up the Scuderia Ferrari. It looks good to catch him up to the end of the race, but then after a pit stop, when Christopher Hase goes into the car, the engine suddenly stopped, and the car stopped on track. There was no, the car don't run anymore.
The car is delivered back to the pit crew. The team are not rushing to get the car back on track. It's clear the car has been retired.
The engine stopped, and we had no power. At the moment we didn't know what happened. We have to analyze the data and see what happened. But if it's something wrong with the engine, 4 hours until the end of the race. It makes no sense to change it because it takes some time.
It's a sad moment for the team. This updated Audi has performed well this weekend.
The whole team, the drivers did a great job. Every pit stop was perfect. The drivers was quick, make no mistakes in the race. No contacts at all, and so it's really a shame, yeah.
This retirement moves the A6 AM class leader up to second overall. But when the number 73 stops at the side of the track, the Pro Sport team made a call that didn't turn out as expected.
We predicted a code 60 during 1 point, so we came in, darted in the pits. Sadly, it wasn't a code 60, so we topped up the fuel and we went straight back out. And it's super hot out there, so I'm looking forward to maybe jumping in one of the pools that are in the paddock at the moment.
GP Extreme had technical troubles earlier in the race with their Renault. What are their expectations at this moment?
Expectations? We lost over an hour in the pits. We have no expectations. We just want to see the finish, that's all.
In endurance racing, teams will try and keep the amount of pit stops to a minimum, as time lost in the pit is hard to be reclaimed on track. With the finish in sight, teams will try to maximise the length of their final stint.
Now we're going to drive, and normally we just can finish without fueling. It's going to be just.
Smoke from the 58 Mark Focus of VDS Racing Adventures.
Everything was absolutely perfect, no oil consumption, nothing silly on the data, just nothing, except that all of a sudden, engine blowouts. This engine was fresh for Imola, and so no mileage issue, just I suspect poor quality part and engine blowouts.
VDS is not able to live up to its mission statement.
At VDS, we cannot give up. It's not allowed. But this time, unfortunately, we don't have time enough to repair. So, unfortunately, it's a did not finish.
Number 1 Hoffa Racing Mercedes is now knocking on the door of a top 3 finish. Michael Kroll convinced they'll reach that goal.
And the chances are not too bad. Not too bad. Canis is doing very fast laps. He will do a double stint, and if we are lucky, it might work out. Now we are P4 overall. We are battling the Manthey Porsche. That's the only car we can get. The other 2 cars are too many laps in front.
EDEC not really confident about their position in the 991 class, perhaps even a little afraid.
Yes, but it's 24 hours and it's not finished. That's why we are afraid. We have just 1 hour 14 minutes and we are third, and we hope so that we keep this place.
The 239 Red Horse Ginetta is not going to get to the end untroubled, and the team not yet sure why.
We don't know yet. We have to investigate first. Maybe it's a drive shaft gearbox problem. It shifts gear, but there is no connection to the rear wheels.
Investigations have shown it was a reoccurring issue.
We broken a crankshaft, and we did it before. Just before the race started yesterday at practice, we broke it and we installed 2 new ones on both sides, and still we don't know why, but it happened again. So
this is where the race will end for the 239 car.
Well, the plan is to put it all together and go home and find out what happened, so it won't happen when we go to the States in November.
Just minutes to go, and Speed Lover are rightly proud of their 3rd position in SPX. They've not had a single problem throughout the whole race.
I said we put in fuel, tires on, driver change, that was all we did. So, and we have, in my opinion, a very, very good result, because our competitors in SPX were this time the new Porsche that we couldn't beat, also the new Lamborghini. So we finished on 3rd place. That was the maximum we could have here. So I'm very happy.
Final lap, and the Bohemia Energy Racing with Scuderia Praha number 11 Ferrari is the first to see the checkered flag. Team Bohemia Energy Racing with Scuderia Praha extremely happy with the result of the race, and the race organisers are pleased with this 2nd running of the Hankook 24 Hours of Portimao.
We have enjoyed a very good 2nd edition of the Hankook 24 Hours of Portimao, and as our participants have enjoyed it, it was a long race, it was a hot race, but we're happy to see that this many cars could finish the race.
It's a special victory for the Czech Republic team, who couldn't have predicted the outcome.
I just hoped after the win last year that we will continue. So Portugal is ours.
A fantastic result for the new Manthey Porsche in its maiden race.
Yeah, what a race. We came from behind after a few punctures at the beginning of the race, and then yeah, to finish on the podium, first race of the car ever. Really great work from the complete Manthey team, Porsche, my teammates. So yeah, it's just amazing to be here, and yeah, looking forward to the future with this new car.
3 different classes in the top 3. Third, the Pro Sport A6 AM team.
No, I mean, obviously the Pro Sport guys did an amazing job, and we're just really enjoying driving this AMG GT3. Adam, Christodoulou, Charlie Putman did an amazing job, and all I had to do was back clean up.
But the last stint wasn't easy.
Yeah, well, obviously just conserving all kinds of things on the car. We were about out of rear brake pads, actually, and just conserving the tires, and we made it to the end. So very happy, very lucky.
At the checkered flag, a decisive 9-lap victory for Bohemia Energy number 11 Ferrari. Second, the new Porsche 991 GT3R run by Manthey Racing. A lap further back, in third, the 85 Pro Sport Performance Mercedes AMG GT3. And in the classes, A6 Pro, Bohemia number 11 first, Hoffer Racing number 1 second, and Car Collection number 32 third position. In A6 AM, Pro Sport Performance number 85 first, 24 of SPS second, and Car Collection number 34 in third. SPX is a win for the Manthey number 912 Porsche, Leipert's Lamborghini number 10 is second, and third, the number 78 Speed Lover car. In 991, the class win goes to Force Racing with their number 189, Track Club number 111 fought their way to second, EDEC number 75 in third. And finally, in GT4, the 47 from Fox Motorsport, the QSR number 254 in second, Perfection Racing made third position. The results of this race count towards 2 series, the Championship of the Continents, where the next round is at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, USA on the 16th to the 18th of November, and also the European Championship, where the next round is the 24 Hours of Barcelona. Maybe there we'll find out who our first championship winners are. Be there as a spectator, or even better, be there as a participant. If you'd like more info, go to www.24hgtseries.com.